What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're back with some more Garp challenges, this time taking a look at the new Kizuna Clash legend that I was able to pull during Toki's banner. Now, I know that I've pulled a lot of, really good legends recently, just haven't had a lot of time to give these characters their videos, so finally we get to talk about the Firetank Pirates today, which on release I did think was a really good unit. A lot of people in my tier list videos also say that this unit is freaking amazing, and I mean, after using this character, I can understand why people really like this unit. This unit is extremely good at defensive effects, and what I mean by that is this unit has great healing potential. This character also has great damage reduction. Shout out to 120% damage reduction, you know who you are. And also, you know, as a captain, they provide many matching slots. They've got pretty decent multipliers in their single form, but obviously they get much better when they're in their dual form. Also, a little bit later on in this video, when we take on the Worst Generation Garp challenge, we can really showcase their other additional effect of resisting blowaway. As a captain, none of your characters can be blown away on your crew. It's a pretty awesome effect, and doesn't really see a lot of play. Like, it's not going to be super useful a lot of the time, but there are certain instances where having an ability to just resist blowaway is useful, and this is definitely one of those cases. Getting a bit more into the nitty gritty of this character though, remember this character is boosting shooter and driven characters. That's not too bad though. Driven characters are pretty good, but when you look at the shooter class, they definitely need a little bit of help. I think a majority of the characters I use in this video are going to be driven characters. A lot of the time I'm going to be using those with Firetank Pirates just because shooters are pretty bad, honestly. And of course, you know, we have to run these Garp challenges with certain colors, you know, either mono Dex or mono Psi. I think I run mono Psi for versus Rev and versus Whitebeard, but we actually use mono Dex for the versus Worst Generation, as there are some pretty nice units that will help you get through that content that some of the Psi units that are shooter or driven characters don't really help as much. But in this particular team versus Revolutionary Army, once again, Kuma is a very good unit. He's a shooter character that's able to remove Bind and Despair. Very good for multiple different stages here. We also have Queen, who's able to remove some defensive effects on the enemy, as well as giving us a chain lock, which is pretty good. We have NL, which was kind of like a filler unit, just because we could just spam his special whenever it was ready. And also, orb locking is a pretty useful effect sometimes. And also we have Germa 66. Now, Germa 66 with the Firetank Pirates is a pretty awesome combination. Remember that Germa 66 are now buffed with their super evolution for 3 turns now, 3-turn orb boost, 3-turn captain swap. When they're swapped, they're super effective against all types. They are a driven character, so running side driven with the Firetank Pirates and Germa 66 is a ridiculous combination. So this team, just in general, worked very well versus Revolutionary Armies with absolutely no issues whatsoever. You can get through so many stages just by using switch effects to stall. You have lots of matching slots, and you get through without too many problems. Moving on now to the Whitebeard challenge. This particular quest is also relatively easy with the Firetank Pirates because we are able to stall just as much as we really want. It's really great. But also the Ambush Linlin is going to be a great addition to the team, granting multiple turns of an attack boost. Also being able to remove attack down is very useful here. So we can use this special here of Linlin to get rid of the attack down on the Curiel stage. And then we also have the Chopper. We're using Chopper this time, who obviously is not a driven unit, is a shooter character though. But just a great unit in general because of his amazing utility that we can use a little bit later on in this quest versus the Marco and Vista stage, where we're inflicted with attack down, we're inflicted with paralysis. We don't actually get rid of the chain debuff, but we can just take a couple of turns and we'll be fine. We can get rid of that, no issues asked. And then of course, Germa 66 making another appearance here. I mean, as I said, being super effective against all types is a pretty good effect, and being able to have them just available for us now is so good. So I really do enjoy Germa 66, and I do think it's probably the best super evolution that I have used in 2021. Obviously, we actually currently have the super evolution of Dex Sabo, who's actually a character you can use as a crewmate for the Firetank Pirates. That is actually an option if you wanted to run a shooter-based team. However, we didn't opt to use that today. I was contemplating it in a couple of different circumstances, but opted to go with this type of team. I felt like it was a little bit more comfortable, honestly. But yeah, overall, German 66, another great asset to the Firetank Pirates team. Really nice unit here. Of course, Queen is really good here too, being able to remove the 2 defensive effects on this Jozu stage, and also giving us a chain lock, and then we can use the special of the Firetank Pirates to grant us that attack boost. And the really cool effect of the Firetank Pirates is that orb change, right? So they're able to provide a lot of matching slots to your shooter and your driven characters, but then they put them in a slot change impossible barrier, and essentially you keep those slots forever until you hit a perfect, which is both a good and a bad thing. You know, it would have been interesting if it actually said like you have to hit a good or a great in order to remove that slot, but you know, realistically it kind of makes sense for it to be a perfect, meaning like, you know, yeah, you can go ahead full ham, hit all your perfects, do a lot of damage, but also if you really wanted to conserve your slots, you have to play a little bit more cautiously, hit your goods, hit your greats, in order to conserve them for multiple different stages. The Firetank Pirates can actually use a couple of really key support characters, such as the rare recruit support Caesar Clown. He's actually really good because he can provide you with a conditional boost, a self-proccing conditional boost, but also the fact that this is a character that enables you to change your slots, which is also really nice because you can actually use V1 Doflamingo as a support, and if you've got predominantly driven characters on your team, you'll be able to get an attack boost with the Firetank Pirates, and then also an orb boost via that support. So yeah, it's a really nice combination of units that you can actually use. I do actually use that combination, I think, in one of my clips here. I can't remember if I did, or maybe I was trialing it out. I can't remember if I actually kept that in, but I was trialing out that, and that's actually really nice. You do a lot of damage just with one special activation with this unit here. But I'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip versus the Whitebeard challenge, and we'll pick things up once we talk about the most difficult of the Garp challenges available this month, the Worst Generation. And now we move on to the final clip of this video. Now, unfortunately, the support characters that you see on this team, they don't activate throughout the quest. It was kind of an oversight on my behalf, but either way, this team actually does not need any support characters in order to get through it. So now that I think about it, I actually don't think you need any supports for any of these teams to work, actually. So, you know, pretty awesome that you can actually just build these teams with Firetank Pirates, and the fact that you're so tanky means that you don't need to worry about a lot of things. You know, of course, if the enemy that you're coming up against has a really annoying gimmick, yeah, you really have to take that into consideration. But for some of these Garp challenges where you can really just take your time, as long as you don't die, right, you can just get through it quite passively and quite easily, right? So with this character, we are able to just use their switch effect to provide a 5% heal, and then they also provide damage reduction. But remember that depending on which captain you have out at the time, you also get either additional damage reduction or you can get a healing mechanic. So if you have the Capone out, I believe he provides the damage reduction, and then if you have the other Firetank Pirates being Vito, Gotti, and Chiffon, you get a little bit of healing from that. So depending on what you want to do, I typically like to have both versions of the characters out at the time, because I feel like in terms of damage reduction and healing, it's relatively balanced, but also they do provide different matching slots as captains, meaning that if we have both one up at a time, we're able to provide as many matching slots as we possibly can. And also sometimes having one of each color for a bit of type variety on the team is sometimes relatively useful. But speaking on the rest of the team, we're using the free-to-play Raid Kaido and Big Mom character. This character is pretty good, right? Because this character is able to use their switch effect every single turn to not only give themselves a slot, but they also give themselves a 2x attack boost. And sometimes that 2x attack boost is like a small little buff that you need in order to get through a certain stage. Like, we know how good Shank's crew is, right? Being able to be used on either quick or side Garp challenges, and just generating a 1.5 attack boost to your crew for the turn, we already know how good that is. Now with Firetank Pirates, you generate a lot of matching slots as a captain, and if you can use the switch effect of a character to not only have, you know, you get all these slots with this character as a captain, but then you have another unit on your crew that can generate a 2x attack boost for themselves, yeah, you're going to be hitting pretty hard a lot of the time, right? So having that accessibility to a character that can just deal a lot of damage is really, really good. Barto's here once again, very good for these Dex Garp challenges, enabling you to get rid of the threshold, but also giving you multiple turns of chain lock too. Very, very nice to have. Now, as for the other two characters, we do have Zora, because we do need some type of orb booster on the final stage to give us enough damage, but we also have Queen. Now, Queen is here just due to the fact that we can use his special ability against Blackbeard, giving us good damage, of course, but also if we hit 3 perfects on Blackbeard and then we move on to the final stage, we get a 2.5 times chain boundary. And because we have the Firetank pirates that can already generate us a 2.5 times attack boost to driven and shooter characters, that's pretty much all we need. So in the final boss stage of this quest, we're going to have a 2.5 times attack, a 2.5 times all boost, a 2.5 times chain boundary, and that's pretty much it. That's enabling us enough damage in order to get through the quest. So, pretty surprising actually. I was expecting it to be a little bit of a pain, but luckily we do have the Firetank Pirates Captain effect, which is able to resist the enemy's effect to blow our units away. So that's, again, just a really nice effect that this character has. Very useful for this piece of content, but not always useful. It's going to be a kind of a niche effect, but, you know, if you're up against content that has blow away, you're not going to have to worry about it with this unit as a captain. But that's going to end this video today. Thank you very much for watching this video today, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.